Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bag Lady Unloaded. I am Nick, the Poetic Nomad, and today we are going to be talking about why I believe meditation is one of the single most important things you can do to improve your life. So let's get started. Um, so first of all, how y'all doing? um, I had a pretty long week. I feel like still tired, but I think I got some good rest last night. With the new moon and everything going on, I was able to get some journaling done last night, and that was pretty great. I think I'm in a space where I'm like working towards something, and I'm journaling a lot more. Journaling a lot more. And I love that space. I love the space of manifestation and just going after your dreams, doing things with intention, writing things down, setting goals, all of that. And so I think that's what prompted this video today. To start off at the beginning, because that's kind of what I do. The first time, if my memory serves me correctly, the first time I heard or was exposed to meditation was when I was a very young girl. I want to say maybe 6 or 7. I couldn't have been any older than 7. And I was watching the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? Now, let me say that it's not a movie that somebody of that age should be watching, because it was, it's horrible. I remember the part where Ike is like raping Tina, and I was so young that I didn't understand like what he was even doing. I'm like looking at my dad, and I'm like, what's he doing to her? And my dad is like, oh, something bad, just brushes it off. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then as I get older, I'm watching the movie, I'm like, he's raping her. And fucking jerk, you know what I mean? So I shouldn't have been watching that, because I didn't even understand what was going on. But I mean, it was okay. And so anyway, I know everybody remembers the pivotal moment where Tina is introduced to Buddhism, and she starts meditating and chanting, and just really finding this inner strength, this inner power, and bringing it out and just becoming more into herself. And it's kind of like where she just like shifts everything, right? And so I don't think I was old enough to understand all that, but I definitely was intrigued with what she was doing. And again, I looked to somebody, to the side of me, and I'm like, my mom this time. And I'm like, Mom, what's that? What is she doing? What is that? And my mom, again brushes me off like something bad. And I think she might have even been a little mad because my family grew up learning with Jehovah's Witnesses. I say learning because you have to be to be considered a Jehovah's Witness. There's like this long process where you have to like go through books, and you have to be studying diligently. You basically have to prove yourself, and you have to be baptized and everything like that. And so we were just studying with them, and with that particular religion, and just a lot of Christians in general, not all of them, a lot of them, they believe that anything outside of what they're doing is demonic. And maybe that view is changing, but that was definitely the view that people had when I was growing up. So she kind of just brushed it off again, like, it's bad or whatever. But I was intrigued, like I don't know why. I can't really say why I was intrigued. I just remember feeling like, that looks cool, I want to do that. Why is she saying those words over and over? Why is she sitting right there? And just, I don't know, I was intrigued. And maybe I can't really explain what it was because I was so young and I didn't really have the vocabulary to express then what intrigued me about that situation. But I was. And so fast forward a few years later, 13, 14-ish. Must have been about 14-ish. And Left Eye from TLC passes away. And I, kind of grew up kind of idolizing her and Aaliyah. And I was really intrigued with Left Eye for, all kinds of reasons. But I love that she was just kind of like, she just had this kind of attitude that just seemed like she was so down to earth and cool. And I love that about her. So once she died, I started to do more research, right? And then I came across all these videos and footage with her being in Honduras and, the meditative journey she was on, and just getting more spiritually in tune with like her environment. And I was like, really interested, like, with her journey. I was like really intrigued, and drawn, I'll say that word. I was really drawn to what she was doing. And again, I didn't, because we were still studying with Jehovah's Witness. At this point, it had been in and out of our lives. We kind of started and then stopped, and started and then stopped. So we were at a point where I was definitely feeling in my life like I wanted some type of spiritual connection to God, or God's source, whatever, the being is that controls the universe, made the universe, whatever. I was feeling like I needed some connection to this being. And it felt taboo in that moment to be intrigued with that, because I felt like it would be considered demonic. But I don't think I cared as much from my standpoint. Like, I don't think I cared as much with, what am I trying to say? I don't think I felt like it was a bad thing. I felt like people thought it might be a bad thing, if that makes sense. And so I didn't get into it, of course, because I'm, a teenager. I'm in my mom's house. She thinks, stuff like that is demonic. Then what are you going to do, right? And so fast forward again, another maybe 10, 11 years at this point, I was in a really, really, really bad space in my life. I had kids, and it wasn't that I had kids. I don't want to say that. It was that I didn't know how to provide the life that I wanted to provide for my kids or for myself. I was kind of like having a job and then hating the job, feeling like I was better than what I was doing, and then like quitting the job and then ending up in another crappy job that was just as, shitty, if not more. I was always working 2 jobs and still not being able to provide, and I was just like moving around, kind of just trying to figure out where I belonged in the world. And I wasn't doing a good job. I was, I had an apartment, then I lost an apartment. I'm staying with somebody else. I got my kids, and then, I get another apartment. I'm like, clawing myself out of holes that I'm creating. And again, I'm like losing the apartment, and just going through just so much in my life. And at this particular point, I was just in a space of heartache, I'll say. I was really not wanting to live. I was wanting to just kill myself. And I remember sitting in the bathtub. I didn't have anywhere to go at this point. Well, I did, but I'll say this. I didn't have anywhere where I wanted to go besides a hotel. Like, I just needed to be in a hotel to just be away from everybody that I knew. I didn't have an apartment at this point, and it was one of those spaces where I had been living with somebody, and I hated living with them. I hated being in other people's spaces. I hated all the watchful eyes and just everybody making me feel like shit. And maybe I was shit. You know what I mean? Maybe I was. Who's to say? But I hated the feeling of feeling like I wasn't anything with everybody watching me. So I went to live in a hotel, and which is very expensive. It's, oh my God. It's very expensive. And so I was in a hotel, and I was trying to get someone to come and see me and sit with me because I really just wasn't feeling okay. And this person wouldn't. They didn't care enough about me in the moment and what I was saying to want to be with me. And I was brokenhearted because I felt like I kind of had given that person a lot. And so I grabbed a bottle of pills, and I kind of just started taking a lot of them. I don't remember how many I took, but it was a lot. It was way more than I ever took because I didn't usually like to put things in my body. So I wasn't the type of person that would have a headache or a stomach ache and take some pills. And so it was just way more than I was definitely used to. And I started to feel this feeling of being like outside of my body. I just remember like sitting in the bathtub and thinking, what the fuck? I'm so not good at life. This is obviously a game and I'm losing. I don't know what to do, where to go from this moment. I just know that I'm failing miserably, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of going back and forth to crappy jobs. I'm tired of having an apartment and then losing everything because I can't keep stuff afloat. I'm tired of moving my kids around. I'm a crappy mom. I'm a crappy person. I'm tired of it. I don't want this life anymore. I just give up. I don't know what to do. It's just sad. And so I heard something say, and it was obviously in my voice. But it wasn't me. And it said, you have to change your mind to change your life. And when I heard it, I remember thinking, what? Like, what do you mean? What does that mean? And that thing, whatever it was, maybe it was a part of me, maybe it was a part of my higher self, who knows? Angel, who knows, right? It didn't say anything, and I didn't hear it again. And so, I kind of sat and thought with it for a second, but I didn't, it wasn't enough to make me not want to kill myself. I still wanted to fucking die. Like, I was just tired, you know what I mean? Like, of fighting and be people pleasing and trying to be everything people wanted me to be, and like moving home to appease people in Milwaukee and then moving back to Georgia, which is where I was living at the time, to try and be with men that I probably shouldn't have been chasing at all. It was just, I was tired. I could go on and on. But to sum it up, I was more than tired. And so I think I spent a few days in that space. Obviously, I didn't die. And I spent a few days in this space of just complete and utter sadness and heartbreak. And I wasn't just brokenhearted at that person. I was brokenhearted at the way my life had turned out. The way I felt like I was a really smart kid. I was very logical. I felt like I was a good person. I just didn't understand, like, why my life had went the way it did. Like, why the things in my life that transpired the way they did. And I was just brokenhearted. I felt like there was a God out there, but he had abandoned me, and I didn't really matter. I didn't really matter to the people around me, and I don't think that I really mattered to myself. And I, you know, I don't remember what it was specifically that helped me to just think that, I don't know, things pass. We have feelings, and I really do believe that if we allow those feelings to rise to the surface and we feel them to their fullest capacity, they fade. So maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just the fact that I allowed those feelings. I had sat in that space and I didn't try to push them away. Sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulties. But I was saying, what you resist persists. And in that space, I had just succumbed to those feelings. And so I think I just, went on for a couple days just feeling crappy and allowing myself to feel that way. And really feeling like the only reason I survive things is because God wants to beat on me a little more. I remember saying that. And one day, I'm maybe a couple weeks later at this point where I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I kind of, I'm going to be completely transparent right now and say that I was with someone, and we kind of got into an argument right after being intimate. And it made me feel like shit all over again. And maybe because I was already in that space to begin with. But for some reason, I got up, I went and I took a shower, and I started praying as I was taking a shower. And I don't know where this had come from because I'd never done anything like this before, but I just started praying while I was showering. And I got out. I didn't even get dressed. I just sat on the floor and started to meditate. And I sat in that space, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know if I was doing it right. I don't even know why I sat in a space and tried to meditate. Like, where did that come from? Where did I, I can't even explain why that happened. I sat there and I tried to meditate, and I don't think that I was, that I thought that I was doing it right, but it didn't matter. I just wanted to try. And I remember thinking, I'm taking control of my life. And I have to change my mind. And meditation is going to be the way that I change my mind. And so I don't remember how long I sat there, but it was pretty long time. Or at least it felt like a really long time. And then I got up and I started grabbing, not immediately, obviously, but I, went to the library. I was already a pretty avid reader, and I started grabbing books on meditation and yoga and, all Buddhism and just all kind of books. I didn't know what the fuck I needed. I just knew I wanted to learn how to do it, and to learn how to do it right. And I remember thinking, like, I need some type of help, some type of spiritual comfort. And I just knew I was doing it wrong. So at that point, it didn't really matter. You know what I mean? That I always been told that meditation was bad for you. And when people saw me starting to meditate, I was again reminded how demonic it can be, and how, I could probably allow in a demon, or an idle mind is the devil's playground, and just all of this crap that people kept trying to throw at me. But it didn't matter. It's like, well, I've been doing it your way this whole time. I've been doing it everybody else's way. I'm not doing it right. So I have to do something dramatically different from what I'm doing to make it, because I wanted to make it. And yeah, I began my journey toward spirituality. I was me clapping, if you were wondering. I began my journey toward meditation. And I remember writing a list of things that I wanted to happen, like a list of intentions for meditation. I want to be healthier, smarter, more beautiful, happier, you know? But I remember one thing that stuck out was I wanted to learn about myself. I wanted to understand how the choices that I had made in my life brought in what it brought into my life. I wanted to understand how I could make better choices so I could have a better life, how I could create a better life. And so I felt like first I got to understand what I'm doing wrong. And I was completely right. But anyway, I'm on this, I think that meditation, to sum this up, because it needs to be summed up, I think that meditation is the single most important thing that changed my life because, like I said, it helped me to understand what I was doing wrong. It helped me to understand that I had been playing a victim in my life for a very long time. And it helped me become, a warrior, if you will. And like I said, to change my life, I had to first see what I was doing wrong, and understand what I was doing wrong so I could know how to pivot and do right to create a better reality. And one of the first books that I read on moments in your life or changing, you know what I mean, your life was Eat, Pray, Love. And I think I had heard about Eat, Pray, Love, how Julia Roberts, who was my favorite actress at the time, who am I kidding? She's still my favorite actress. And she played in the movie and then converted to Buddhism after filming the movie. And so naturally I wanted to read it. And after reading the book, the movie, I love Julia Roberts, but the movie is not even close to the gem that the book is. The book really has a lot of spiritual gems, and it was just a great book to read at that point in my life because it wasn't too heavy and it didn't scare me away, but it just was the right confirmation that I needed to know that I was on the right path. And so yeah, meditation is just something that people do to become more aware in themselves and in their reality. I do believe the inner reflects the outer. And so if I can clean everything that's going on inside of here and here, then I believe it cleans your outside environment as well. Now, a lot of people want to meditate, but they think that if they sit in meditation, demons are going to come. And I'm not going to say that that's not true, because for me it hasn't been true, but I don't know what brings on different experiences for other people. Nobody does. What I am going to say is that I truly do believe that your intention is what brings things in your life. So if you sit down with the intention to invite in demons, then I do feel like that could be something that could happen. But if you sit down with the intention to learn yourself and better your life, then I think that is definitely what's going to happen. I truly believe that meditating back then became the single best thing that I did. To quote myself at the beginning of the video, the single best thing that I did to improve my life, because now I'm in a space. I've moved to California. I've had a job that I've had, the same job that I've had mainly since I've been here. I'm in the same apartment that I've been in mainly since I've been here. I mean, there was some stuff going on when I first moved here. Don't get me wrong. I didn't just skate. But I persevered. I, moved through it. And I haven't, all of the shakiness that my life consisted of back then is gone, because I know and understand myself better. So I'm able to counter those reactions that used to be unconscious for me. And so, please do, try meditation. I think that it's amazing, for lack of a better term. And don't worry about not doing it right, because I didn't know what I was doing either. I just sat there and went inside. And yes, your mind is going to go all over the place. Yes, you're going to be thinking about, oh, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat when I go up? How long should I stay? I wonder what my kids are doing. You know what I mean? I wonder why that guy hasn't texted me. Yes, because that's what your mind does. But you don't meditate because you have a clear mind. You meditate to clear your mind. So don't let that stop you. Sit and continue to sit in meditation, and do that spiritual work. It's the first part, really. The first thing you can do on your spiritual journey, and it doesn't cost anything. I know they have apps and everything like that these days, and you can go to classes and stuff, and I'm not discouraging that, because sometimes association really helps us to stay on that path. You know what I mean? We need that accountability. But if you don't have it, if you don't have the money to go to a class, or there's not one available for you, just sit at home and meditate. Just sit there and, you know what I mean? Just sit there and just try. Just give it a try. And I promise you that your life is going to change. Because how can it not? You know what I mean? How can it not? No, I'm just kidding. So that's all I have for today. Again, this was another video about my spiritual journey, which I feel like is definitely a part of this travel journey. That is Bag Lady Unloaded. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, because I promise you, you are not going to want to miss the stuff that is coming up on this channel. So if you're ready, keep watching. Have a great week, guys.